Hi everyone, it's Holly and I'm here with another book review, and today I'm going to review Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. It's the first book in a new adult series, and it's kind of going to be like Abby Lyne's series, where especially Rosemary Beach, where you kind of have like sub-series within this larger series. And this is the very first book, and this book follows Lily and Lauren, or Lo, and Lily is a sex addict and Lauren is an alcoholic, and they pretend to be dating in order to like kind of keep their problems hidden from everyone else in their lives, and so that their family doesn't get on top of them and all of that. But of course it's a book, so they have to deal with some of those problems, and it is a new adult romance. I feel like it's a really vague synopsis, but so much of this story, and I've only read the first book so far, but I do want to continue reading, I think is just about these characters really growing emotionally and dealing with their problems. I gave this book 4 stars. It really surprised me. It handles some really difficult subject matter, but in like a mature, professional way. So let's talk about the characters. So you have Lily and you have Lo. The story is told in first person from Lily's point of view, at least this book is. I kind of hope we get more as the series continues, but who knows. Lily is selfish, self-centered, she's a sex addict, and she enables her friend who is an alcoholic. But for some reason, I like her. I don't know, I like her. She's aware of her problems, even if she isn't willing to deal with them really. And she knows what she's doing. Like, enabling is wrong, but she like can't stop herself from doing it, which I think is a very human thing. And then you have Lo, or Lauren, who is selfish, manipulative, jackass. He's an alcoholic, and he enables his friend, who's a sex addict. But again, oddly likable. He has moments of true sweetness, and he also is clearly aware that what he is doing is wrong, and he knows he shouldn't enable people, but like continues to do it. And then you have some side characters. They're not as fully developed as I would like at this point, but I think that'll happen in the other books, and they're definitely interesting, and you can tell that the authors are kind of creating this like family and friend group that will hopefully be like a great support system and everything. You have this nice blend of male and female characters. Most of the female characters are sisters, and you can kind of see the foundation of really nice friendships forming, especially for Lily and Lo. These characters who are coming in almost from like an outside perspective and want to provide them with help so that they can get better, and not continue to enable them like they are as individuals. Obviously it's new adult, so the relationship and the romance is pretty important to this story. These characters, even though that they have this fake relationship to get away with their problems, you can tell that they're really friends and that they really do care about each other. And I think that is the most important part, that everything they do comes from a place of caring, which is clearly going to create all kinds of problems, because you're enabling somebody's addiction because you care, but then if you try to stop that addiction, does that mean you don't care? Like, it creates an odd like psychological issue, which I think is very interesting. And you know, they have to face struggles that other couples don't have to face, but I think that in the end those larger issues kind of allow you to showcase more common problems, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, does that make sense? And I'm curious to see how their relationship evolves, and see how, if they're able to kind of rely on each other for emotional support and not just like the physical support, especially for Lily. Obviously, like, I think her addiction is probably harder to deal with, because alcohol is something you can escape in theory. I feel like that's a really simplified version of addiction, but you know, you don't need alcohol. I mean, you don't need sex either, but obviously that's like a natural part of having a relationship. So even if she does like say she goes to like rehab or something and recovers, it's then like dealing with how to have that in your situation. It's like being an alcoholic but having to drink 3 days a week or whatever, like for work, like kind of like that. So the writing and tone, I think the writing is so important to the story because I was really apprehensive going in. I thought this book was gonna like glamorize dysfunctional relationships and dangerous lifestyles, but because the writing and the tone and all of that is handled so well, it completely works. They don't do any of those things I was afraid of. They acknowledge the psychological aspects of both of their conditions and how you can be an addict, know you're an addict, know this is bad for you, but feel like there's no escape and that there's nothing you can do and there's no one you can turn to, even if there is, and usually there is, but you feel like you can't, and just like how you get so stuck in your head and it just becomes like this weird twisted cycle. But that's not an excuse. Like, they don't, that's just how they are, but that doesn't mean that that's a reason not to get help eventually. I think this book was a great book. I really care about these characters. Did my hair do something weird? I'm very excited to see where the series goes, where these characters go. I'm super invested in them. Like I said, I hope we get more POV, especially from Lo. I want to see what where he is coming from. And I kind of want to see these characters just hit rock bottom and start to rebuild their lives and have great, strong friendships. And I really think that that's what's going to happen here. I don't know, but I think that's what's going to happen. So would I recommend this book? I would. I think it's a great, strong new adult novel. I think it's a little different than some other books I've read. I will say there is some sexual content in here, obviously, but in general I find it not to be overly descriptive, especially the scenes with Lily where she's having the sex with strangers. Like, it's often not described, and I think that's a conscious decision by the authors to try and not glamorize that aspect of her life. It's definitely emotional. It's kind of a little melodramatic-y like Abby Glines, but I like it a little more. But I think if you like those books, then these probably would work for you as well because they're super dramatic. But if you like new adult romance, I think this would be a good one to check out. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!